Agni MIRV capability, credible, survivable second strike posture. In nuclear deterrence, credibility rests on two pillars: the ability to absorb a first blow and the certainty of a punishing reply. Multiple independently targetable reentry vehicles, MIRVs, on an Agni-class missile strengthen both pillars at once. Instead of a single warhead on a single trajectory, a MIRV bus carries several warheads under one booster, releases them on distinct paths in space, and steers each toward a different aim point. That turns one launch into several simultaneous dilemmas for an adversary's defenses and compresses the time in which they must decide, track, and attempt to intercept. The hardware logic is straightforward. A high-energy, solid-fuel Agni booster lifts a post-boost vehicle, often called a bus, above the atmosphere. There, free of drag, the bus uses small thrusters and precision guidance to reorient and release reentry vehicles one after another, each with its own trajectory and timing. In the seconds between separations, the bus can alter velocity and attitude so the warheads spread laterally and in range. Arriving on multiple azimuths and at staggered times, defensive systems that expect a single inbound track now face a cluster problem: which to engage first, where to commit finite interceptors, and how to distinguish real RVs from any penetration aids that may accompany them. Survivability improves before launch as well as after. Solid-fuel Agni variants are road or rail mobile, dispersing across hides, tunnels, and prepared sites to complicate preemptive strikes. Mobility plus shoot and scoot doctrine shortens the window between detection and launch, and hardened, redundant command links preserve positive control without creating single points of failure. When a launcher does fire, a single MIRV round can service several high-value aim points that would otherwise require multiple single warhead missiles, conserving inventory and reducing exposure to counter-force attacks on reserves. Accuracy and guidance are the quiet enablers. An inertial navigation system refined by stellar or satellite updates drives the bus to the correct release basket. Precise attitude control and timing ensure that dispersion on the ground matches the plan. The reentry vehicles themselves are largely ballistic in the terminal phase, riding extreme speeds through the atmosphere to minimize the defender's engagement time. Even modest terminal shaping of RVs can tweak footprints and heating profiles, complicating discrimination by radar. The result is a package in which geometry, speed, and timing, not just yield, do much of the deterrent work. Penetration against layered defenses is a design goal, not an afterthought. MIRV saturation lowers the defender's per-target interceptor density. Decoys or chaff can seed the defender's radar picture. And varied trajectories, some slightly depressed, others higher, force multiple fire control solutions. From the defender's perspective, the cost curve tilts badly. Each RV demands an interceptor or two, and intercept windows can overlap if arrivals are staggered cleverly. Even a capable defense risks leakage when faced with a well-planned MIRV profile, which is precisely what second strike credibility seeks to ensure. Command and control keeps deterrence stable. A robust, redundant chain of custody over warheads and launch authorization is paired with tested drills for dispersal, communication checks, and pre-delegation protocols appropriate to national doctrine. The purpose is paradoxical but vital. Make it hard to fire accidentally, impossible to fire unlawfully, and certain to fire when lawfully ordered after absorbing an attack. Exercises that validate communication survivability under electronic attack and physical disruption are as important as range trials of the missile itself. Integration with the broader Triad increases resilience. Land-based MIRVed Agni systems complement sea-based ballistic missiles on SSBNs, which provide stealth and constant patrol, and air-launched vectors that add flexibility and signaling options. Together, they prevent an adversary from betting on a single decapitating strike. At least one leg will ride out the first blow and hold targets at risk. Within that mix, MIRV capability multiplies the land leg's efficiency. Fewer launchers can hold more discrete aim points, spread across leadership, command, air defense, and infrastructure nodes. arms control literacy and doctrine shape use. Credible minimum deterrence is about assured retaliation, not warfighting. MIRV does not seek to blur thresholds. It seeks to guarantee that any nuclear use against India is answered decisively. Declaratory policy, restrained testing, and secure operations reduce the risk of accidental escalation while still signaling that counter-force fantasies are futile. Penetration aids and MIRV bus logic remain opaque by design, preserving uncertainty for an adversary while staying within national commitments. What changes for strategic planners is options and confidence. With MIRV, target sets can be covered with fewer launches. Routing can exploit geography and defensive gaps, and reserve forces can be managed more prudently over a crisis timeline. For an adversary, the presence of MIRVed assets complicates first strike calculations and interceptor stockpiles, increasing the incentive to avoid nuclear adventurism. MIRV on an Agni-class missile turns assured retaliation from a promise into a physics-backed problem an opponent cannot solve cheaply or quickly. It deepens survivability through mobility and dispersion, multiplies effect through multiple aim points per launch, and strengthens the credibility of India's second strike posture without changing its restrained doctrine. For clear explainers on MIRV technology, Triad survivability, and India's evolving deterrence architecture, visit globalinfoveda.com.